I'm so much taller than all of you now. Thank you to my husband, my prop director. One of the fun things about cancer is sometimes the treatment's the hardest part. And my treatment kind of tanked my heart. So I'm going to be sitting here for you today and not standing. About a year ago, I found out that I had stage 3 breast cancer. And I have, like Kenya mentioned, gone through a lot in my life and had recently made the decision to resign from my job and take care of my son. He was recently an adult, and we've been struggling with adolescent schizophrenia since he was 13 years old. And when we talked to the kids and we said, "What do you think about mom having cancer?" they were kind of like, "Well, we're just used to somebody being sick, so it's just your turn now." They also told me that my speech was going to be blah, 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 cancer, blah, blah. So that's for them when they watch this later. We had been told, and I had told my kids throughout all of that we are very resilient. And when I got my cancer diagnosis, I rebelled against that word. I was tired of it. I was tired of being strong. And so we went to the thesaurus, and I found a word that I liked better, and that was the birth of my tenacious and thankful cancer journey. Tenacious, or tenacity, the third definition down if you keep reading, is the persistence in existing. And when you're told that you have something that is going to wipe you out, existing is kind of all that you think about. So every day for hundreds of days, I got on Facebook and I would do day 1, 2, 3, 186, whatever day of cancer, my thankful and tenacious cancer journey. And there's a gal at my church who was also on my Facebook page and knew about my cancer, and she comes up to me after I had finished 5 months of chemotherapy and was just about to have my double mastectomy, and says, "I was at the rodeo this weekend, and wait till I tell you what I found out. There's this charity called Because There's Hope." And that was the first time I had heard that. And apologies to Pastor Steve. I spent the next 5 minutes online reading pages and finding Facebook, and I have no idea what he preached on that day. But I was able to do the contact information, and within just a few days, I had a hotel set up for the day before my surgery. That ended up being a very dramatic week for us. We found out that the heart damage that I had was going to make the recovery very difficult. So being able to eliminate that expense and the stress of travel was priceless at the time. Recovered from my surgery and then found I needed several weeks of radiation, and met beautiful Kenya at my radiation center, and she said, "We have somewhere for you to stay." We're about an hour and a half away from Spokane, so driving to radiation would be 3 hours in the car for a 15-minute treatment. And that's a lot. And so we stayed. I ended up staying an entire month with a host family, stayed on the weekdays, and went home to visit my babies on weekends. And thank you to my heart over there. I left my heart over there when I finished radiation. Tammy and her +1, because I'm not allowed to say his name. We bonded over Jeopardy and American Ninja Warrior, conversation, and the things that we had in common surrounding this horrible disease. There are so many things that we can do in life to be the hands and feet to the people that need it. And the wheels and the beds. The most important thing that you can do isn't even fighting cancer. It isn't a surgery. It isn't months of chemotherapy. It isn't weeks of radiation. It isn't opening your house and the beds up for people to sleep in, your tables for people to eat at, gift cards so people have gas money. The most important thing you can do is just be available to be used by God. That we all have a purpose here. The most important thing you can do is to know that no matter what happens in your journey, that is not where your hope is. There is hope. And hope isn't a wish or a prayer. Hope is assurance. And my assurance is that this is not my home. This is just where I am right now. The most important thing that you can do in offering your home or donating money or even lifting a paddle, which is going to be very important and you should do it, is to have a personal relationship with the person who created that person that you're here to help. Not only to be alive, to have had that bed, to have taken that trip, to have experienced that treatment, but actually thankful for this journey, that I've been able to connect with people. I've been able to find out that I have something with me genetically, so that my sisters and my aunts and my mother were able to do testing that they wouldn't have thought about doing if this hadn't happened to me. My mother finding out that she also has the same gene, and I get to walk alongside her this year as she proactively eliminates any risk of her own breast cancer. None of that would have been possible without this journey that I've gone through. And so when I say I'm thankful, it's not just a platitude, it is how I feel. And I'm thankful that I'm able to be here and talking with you guys today. And because I had cancer, and now I'm in a wheelchair, I can do whatever I want. So I would just like to end, I have no idea how long I've spoken, but end with a prayer. And I'm sure there's people in this room that I've had a chance to hug and pray with. And if you would just join me. Dear Lord, I thank you so much for this opportunity to